Hey guys, welcome back. So, today we are going to be reacting to, as I promised, Phantom of the Opera by Voiceplay. Now, it was either doing that or doing Peaches from the new Mario movie. So, I'm glad that we're keeping the P's, Phantom, Peaches. I love that song so much. I've had it on repeat for like 5 hours. However, I'm very excited about this just because like I'm a Broadway nerd, and so Phantom's kind of like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't really like Phantom. I don't really like Phantom. So hopefully Voiceplay is able to change my opinion. There is some good songs like Music of the Night and all that stuff. I just don't like it. It's kind of like Beauty and the Beast, but humanizing it. It's like Romeo and Juliet, but masking it. It's like a glorified version of The Masked Singer, in my opinion. But the thing is that I don't have a real strong opinion just because I never grew up and like dedicated time to watching it. I've watched all of it, both the 25th anniversary of it, including the movie, and let's just hope that Voiceplay does this justice, shall we? Let's get into the 2010s entrance. Make sure to like and subscribe, and also hit that notification button. Also, make sure to do something for yourself today, like spinning in a chair. You guys like my lighting? It's pink and blue, so it can make purple, because Phantom. He's saying I only know one song and then sang like 8. Alrighty, you know what time it is. It is time for prediction time. Who is going to start us off? So, I already know what songs are going to be in there. Music of the Night, Phantom of the Opera, high notes, low notes, all of that stuff. However, who's going to start us off? I know I said beatboxer last time. I know usually Jay Nunn starts us off with the medleys. Jeff usually starts us off in, if it's like modern times, but this is 7 years ago, so I'm going to... We haven't heard the tenor. We haven't heard the tenor. So I feel like the tenor's gonna start us off first. The guy with the bald hair. You guys are gonna comment, "This is his name! This is his name! I've been telling you his name this entire time! He's not the Navy boy, he's not Jay Nunn. This is his name!" So I can't wait to see those comments. Alrighty, but I do believe that it's the tenor that's gonna start us off. Let's begin this. Ooh, okay, getting goosebumps right off the bat. Alrighty, that's okay. Now, I don't know if I got the tenor correct, but I'm getting that scared me. Like, I literally was about to turn around and open that door because of like how scary that entrance was. Holy crap. Have I been sleeping on Phantom of the Opera while the Phantom of the Opera is trying to sleep with some innocent person? Anyways.
In sleep he sang to me, in dreams he came, that voice which calls to me and speaks my name.
Did they just party rock in this song? You know the party rock is in the house tonight. That's the same beat. That's it. They just... No way! This... I don't like how good this is. 7 years ago? This is already a contestant for S tier. Anyways, let's evaluate their voices. Number 1. Holy crap. Holy crap, their voices are so good. So good. You can't hear Jeff right away just because the song does start off the bum ba da 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 da. So there's not really need for any like bass or like. Usually Jeff does like one of those like low, yeah, as I said, bass guitar s type deals, or one of those like low piano note esque. But there is none. I can't hear him because he's mixed in with all the voices, and that's what their voices individually, as I said, perfection. But individually, they are so powerful. But combined, it's like they're an army. It's incredible. What?
And do I dream again? For now I find the phantom of the opera is there inside my mind.
What have I been sleeping on? This is incredible. Her vowel structure is unlike anything. Right off the bat, I can tell that she's going to hit that high note so perfectly. So perfectly. It's going to be so crisp. So, oh my gosh. I heard Jeff's low note. That's incredible. But I like how they modernized it but kept the same melody. The bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum. They're so crisp with it. So crisp with it. And it sounds like they are one voice. It doesn't sound like they're individual. That's what's scary about it.
Sing once again with me, our strange duet. My power over you grows stronger yet.
Now with him, I do like that little voice crack that he does. Now I realize that this is probably not a medley. This is probably just one song, the Phantom of the Opera song. But with the vocal tone of the Phantom, you can't really be that feathery. Sing once again with me, our strange duet. It sounds much different than sing once again with me, our strange duet. Has a different power dynamic. And with him, he does his own flair to it, but it doesn't have that power dynamic. So he's making it his own, which I'll give it to him. I'm not going to deduct any points because this is already a contestant for an S tier. It's still at A tier right now, but like top A tier. But I do like that little voice crack that he does. Our strange duet. That little voice crack that he does. It wasn't as intense as that one. But puberty. But he does this crispness with it that very much open. But when you're that open, it's very hard to crack, because then you can add those little cracks and personalization. So I understand why he's doing it. So no judgment here.
Though you turn from me to glance behind, the phantom of the opera is there inside you.
No. I was going to talk about his vowel structure. I like how he says E. Sing. Even though sing is spelled S-I-N-G, people add an E instead of sing. It's very lovely. It's more stretched out here than up here. Also, I like how he does the phantom instead of the phantom. He doesn't go southern with it. The Phantom of the Opera. So the Phantom of the Opera is there. I like how he does that. But how the mess does it... Let's listen to this run.
Inside
No. Okay. So she does 3 jump ups and then a little quick run down. But I like how that's how she transfers into the song, because that just adds on to the mysteriousness to it. Her voice fits perfectly. I feel like she would be a perfect recasting of like Dorothy if they ever redid The Wizard of Oz. But her voice is so angelic. Her vocals are like rivers. Like they just flow naturally. And it's just impressive how her vocal training, I feel like she does specialize in runs. But however, when you get to that point where you're able to hit high notes and you're able to extend your range, runs are one of the best things to do as a singer, because with that range, you're able to do runs a lot quickly. So you can go from an A4 to like a D3 like that, just to like run down. It's beautiful. She does that fluently, and that just shows how passionate she is, not only as like an artist, but also as a learner, because those are very difficult techniques to learn.
The Phantom of the Opera is there. The Phantom of the Opera. In all your fantasies, you always knew.
Great harmonization.
That man and mystery were both in you.
Sorry, I was just pointing out Jeff going the doom 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 doom. He also keeps the rhythm. What I've noticed, that's why primarily in modern times he's the one who starts it off. He keeps the melody and the timing, which is very impressive. I do like those two dynamics vocal wise, because I realize why he's not going very hard, because of the fact of he's trying to match her energy, which is phenomenal as a singer. If you're doing a duet, one of you has to kind of submit to the other's vocal style, to where if you're having a duet and one person's very strong, then you also have to be heavy. Sing once again with me. Then you have to sing once again with me. Or if sing once again with me, then the other person, sing once again with me. It's kind of like Snow White-esque. Like, you're not going to match a Josh Groban and Snow White together, because they're very different power dynamic singers. So I like how he's kind of submitting to her vocal tone, which is boosting Rachel up so much more as an artist, which is all kudos to him.
And in this labyrinth, where night is blind, the Phantom of the Opera is there.
My angel of music.
Now, before we get to this high note, because I'm not gonna pause it after this, because I want y'all to enjoy the song as well as me as well, instead of me pausing it every 5 seconds and analyzing it. Number one, love that for 7 years ago they are now adding, production value and stuff like that, and this just makes it so much crisper. And I also like the mask as well, very accurate. I also like the fact of her breath support. It doesn't sound like she's running out of breath at all. And you have to really use your diaphragm. And with her, you look at her stomach and you see it. You see it happening, because with your stomach, this is going to be so bad for me, but with your stomach, if you're breathing normally, some people breathe from the chest, so you can primarily look like this. If you're breathing from your diaphragm, your stomach is purposely going out and back in, out and back in, and you're pushing with that diaphragm. And with her, you can see that technique going through. And even with the runs, people usually people like move their mouth. With her, barely any movement, which is very impressive. I knew I was going to be shocked, but the way Phantom of the Opera is so popular because of the fact of it's so impressive, because hitting that high note and just continuously hitting it and then stopping, hitting it and stopping it. That's like the equivalent of breaking a board. I feel like singing is like the equivalent of breaking a board. You have to follow through. And it's like if you break one board and then stop and then break another. It's so difficult. Or like if you hit it and it doesn't break and then you push through it. That is like the equivalent of what that note is. It's so difficult. And you have to have so much breath support, which is very impressive. But she hit the note and she didn't close her eyes. She looked straight forward. Her head was tilted up. Her chin was up. Obviously, you can see the neck muscles and you can see that diaphragm going in. And it was perfect technique. And that's why it was flawless to her. It acted like it was nothing. Acted like it was nothing. And you could hear that little vibrato there. And usually, primarily, vibrato's used to help with breath support or add a little artistic style. So I do like how they incorporated that as well. But let me go to full screen so y'all can see. Alrighty, let's start this music. Anyways, I do love the fact that the vibrato was used and it wasn't hidden, because most artists know that vibrato means you're running out of air, and that's just the default. It's kind of like that last little breath of a balloon, you know, when it's like almost there and it goes. That's what vibrato is. It's primarily to help. But if you start off with a vibrato, then it helps you with that breath support all the way through. So that's also very impressive as well. But I don't really think that she needed that vibrato. And that's what makes it so impressive, is that she's adding her own like artistic style to it. And that's why Rachel is such a great addition to Voiceplay. And granted that this is 7 years ago and the production value is just as amazing as it is modern time, that just brings so much more enjoyment to this. I absolutely loved it. I love how they modernized Phantom of the Opera. They didn't hide from it and make it. I like how they didn't hide from their artistic background by adding that little disco funk to the boom 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 boom. I do enjoy that, and how they, you know, still made it their own and still had fun with it as well. Even if it was supposed to be, you know, Addams Family type-esque, I very much enjoyed it. I will most definitely be listening to that. I might not be listening to the musical, because it doesn't have that party rockin'-esque, you know, party rockin' in the house tonight. It doesn't have that type of feel to it. But I will most definitely be jamming out to this while I'm going to Kroger and getting myself some laxatives, because Papa's stomach ain't feeling good and it needs to be flushed out. Anyways, that was TMI. I genuinely enjoyed it. I do like how they promoted more of Rachel's vocal tones than like going individually. Just shows how promoting oneself as an artist doesn't mean you being in the spotlight. You can be in the ensemble and still shine just as bright as, you know, one of the main characters, and I love how they utilize that. Thank you guys so much for suggesting that. It just gave me that warm feeling inside, and now I'm going to think that there's some creepy man in a mask in my closet for the next 7 days, so thank you. But I do enjoy the fact that they did use the proper vocal tones. The only judgment I really have isn't gonna be deducted from what place I put it at, which is gonna be S tier, because this is phenomenal. Is I wish it would have been more heavy, because it would have added to the characters. However, I understand why they didn't. It was to match Rachel's vocal tones. So, no deduction there. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Alright, I love you. I love you more. Make sure to eat, drink, and also take your meds. Make sure to do something for yourself today. Make sure to love yourself, but most importantly, make sure to love others. You guys take care of yourselves, because if not, then I'm gonna be your Phantom of the Opera. The Phantom of the Opera. No, we're gonna cut that.